I don't see any damage.
Does not look like a scratch. I don't know how much it's gonna cost me.
Yeah, no, it's Christmas, okay?
Yeah, that's easy for you folks to say. Well, how about you bump this out?
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, Leo sent me a screener for How to Kill Your Family on Christmas. And this 2025 film was directed by Robbie Diaz and stars Galen Howard, Lisa Wilcox, and Bill Dawes, among others, of course. So what is the story of this film? Well, I did read the blurb just now just to see how much it gives away. But I think I don't want to give away all of it, so let's talk about it, certainly. With this film, it is about this family. It's like three couples and, a couple of parents, and they all get together for Christmas. And they aren't like nice people towards each other all the time, but the parents have done something crazy. And then that crazy thing is exposed, and then it just kind of spirals out of control from there. What will happen though? Well, for that, you gotta watch the movie and find out. Alright, so let's discuss this movie. Well, first of all, I gotta tell you, I am filming this in June, and when it gets to the channel, it might even be July, knowing how Leo works on things. And so I don't think I watched this at the right time. Like, it is a Christmas movie, and I'm watching it in June, or you're watching this review in July maybe, and that certainly I feel like goes into it as well. Like, I can't really watch a Christmas movie outside of the winter season, and this one, despite all that, is fine. Like, I enjoyed it for what it was. It is just a cheesy B movie, and there's just everything about it is just cheesy. It really doesn't try to be anything more than just some cheesy B movie, and one that tries to make a buck on the Christmas name, I guess. I would say it does succeed in eventually kind of getting it into the plot, and you want to go along with these people. I would say the most enjoyable thing with this one is the last act, where everything kind of comes together and people start dropping, and it doesn't necessarily drop in any way that I actually expected it to. I actually kind of laughed at some of the kills. I'll probably talk about it later, but it just comes together like in an interesting way, and then seeing them actually get killed as the name suggests. So that, I would say, is something to look forward to with this one. I would also say that I enjoyed seeing some familiar faces. Of course, with these actors, they're kind of more small-time actors, like Galen Howard. Like, I've seen him in a bunch of stuff, but, just recognizing his face, never his name. And there's a few other actors in this one that kind of go along similar lines, I would say. And they're all quite cheesy as well. They're not doing the best job they can, but at the same time, for a fun little B movie, it's fine. And they're working with the script they got. And of course, the crew is working as well. Like, the lighting is really good in this one. Or is this kind of that, like, daytime soap opera lighting. So everything is, well done with that respect. And so there are some things that go into this one that make it, halfway decent. And with this movie, I would say probably the best way to watch it is ironically. I think with this one, like, if you are, at Christmas time and you're looking for an ironic watch, you can turn this one on. I think it would be good if you watched it with your family. Of course, if they're not, movie lovers or B-movie lovers, this one you can press play on and maybe have some laughs. And I think that brings me to what doesn't work with this film. Well, it is a low-budget film, which is nothing new on this channel. But it is all just people talking in rooms, which again is nothing new on this channel. It's just that the things that they're talking about, especially in that first half, where they're kind of like getting to know the characters and stuff like that, and they have kind of longer, drawn out, conversations, is kind of boring, or at least hard to get into, especially with the characters and who they are. Like, most of them are kind of like assholes to each other, and so I'm not really interested in, rooting for an asshole. It's just not something particularly fond. It's just not something I particularly want to do. So sitting through that first half, and once they introduce the crazy thing that the parents have done, it gets more interesting, gets away from just them talking or bickering and trying to play off of each other and whatnot. So it does take a bit to get into because of all of that stuff, and then just talking in rooms can be interesting. Like I said, that's nothing new for this channel. And I love some of these, just talking in rooms shows or movies. But with this one, it's just not particularly interesting about what they're talking about. So yeah, that I would say is probably the biggest barrier to entry for this one. With all of these pairs of characters, the wife of one pair says to like a daughter or someone else's daughter, like, we have something in common, like we're not related to these people, which means that the son would be the biological son. But then they have a comment where it kind of seems like all of the wife characters in these couples are biologically related to the parents. But at the same time, like that one comment from the wife shows that the son is the husband is the biological son of the grandparents. But then he asks the mother to have like a sexy date with him or something, and it's just like, oh, then he must be the one that's the son-in-law and not. It's just kind of a mess. They certainly forget things, and then the script itself at other times just kind of seems like it's poorly written. Like they find a dead body and then they just say, hey, let's go to hibachi, and everyone just goes to hibachi, and it's like, why is that your priority with a dead body on the floor? I guess it's supposed to add to some comedy or something, but at the same time it's just like not very, I don't know, enthusiastic when they're saying, let's go to hibachi over this dead body. So a lot of stuff just kind of falls flat for me, but mostly I would say probably because of that script. And then the way it all kind of comes together, it is not scary at all. It is not thrilling at all. It's really just kind of people talking in rooms. Like I said, I did enjoy kind of how it ended, but with the ending itself, these deaths, like I kind of laughed at some of these kills because they just like fall over and die. And I'm like not kidding on that one. I think someone like trips on something and then hits their head on the ground, which is like where they're falling to, right? And then dies. Like they don't even hit their head on like a chair or a table or anything. They just like fall over and nope, they're dead now. And that's also kind of the humor of it. Like I said, it's good for an ironic watch more than anything else. It's not to be taken serious at all. So if you can watch something ironically, this might be something to put on at Christmas. And as for a rating, because it was very meh. And I even said that at the very end. And so yeah, and with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.